Yeah, so we've been involved with Highfield Rangers now for about 3 years for the Sports Turf Academy. So obviously we're moving through Leicestershire at the minute, and we've improved about 130 pitches across the county to date, which we're really proud of. But Solomon was one of our first clubs. He's one that sort of had the faith in us from the get-go. And Turf Business brought together an idea for Turf Force, a bit like Ground Force used to be with Alan Titchmark, where we wanted to turn a pitch around and do a little bit more than what they'd normally get done. So we've lined up some sponsors, and they've got right behind it, give up their time, their resource, all free of charge. So we're here today for day one of Turf Force at Highfield Rangers in Leicester. So 7 AM this morning, the trucks rolled in along with us, and the guys were offloading the trucks and making their way to the pitch. Once they arrived at the pitch, it was about setting the machine to the perfect level to make sure that what they can do is collect all of the top vegetation to take that first initial step in making this pitch a lot better. Highfield Rangers is a massive part of the community in this part of Leicester. They've been around for 50 years, and we're hoping that the work that we can do over the course of this week will make a massive difference to this grassroots club.
So from day one, it's been a real team effort with all the sponsors on board, really backing what we're trying to do here. We started this project with a pretty terrible pitch, but one that is probably typical of most clubs up and down the country at the grassroots level. And the contractors just went above and beyond really to make sure that what we did was right and what we did will last.
So we're coming to the end of what is the first pass on this pitch to basically try and remove as much of this vegetation as is physically possible. This is probably one of the most undulated pitches that I've ever seen, so it's definitely going to require a second pass to try and take as much of that material out and get us back to bare soil. What you can see behind me is the grass coverage that is still there will be taken out by the second pass, which will allow us to move on to the second phase. So what I wanted to show you here was just some of the material that we're actually taking out of the pitch. To be perfectly honest, the pitch has probably had no work done to it for the entire 50 years that it's been in existence. But what we don't want to do is take too much out. So you can see here, there's a lot of vegetation, a lot of the upper material, and just a little bit of the soil that we're taking out. And that'll give us a nice clean surface ready for phase 2. So here today with Dr. Jonathan Knowles, our Sports Turf Academy manager. Johnny, just wanted to talk to you today about how important Highfield Rangers have been to us as an organisation, but also the work that's going on behind us today. So yeah, Highfield Rangers at the start, one of our first clubs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We worked with Highfield Rangers right from the beginning of us starting the Sports Turf Academy with the technical services, literally our first customer. And so yeah, it's great to be involved at this community level. We're working with Sol here at the club and his support for what we're doing at the Sports Turf Academy. So it's really great to sort of give something back and support him with this Turf Force project. Yeah, and
it's really good, and I think Solomon's got under all of our skins, hasn't he, really, in the club as a whole. I think it's such a pillar of the community, as we've mentioned before, but I think it's really important that the work that we do here certainly is going to help him improve these pitches.
I mean, for us guys, it's probably just bread and butter stuff, but for these it's really important. It's that aeration work, it's overseeding, it's putting that right sort of nutrition package together so that these pitches recover from the wear. And it's just those bread and butter sort of basic tasks that bring these improvements. And I think that's what the pitch improvement program is really all about. It's just making those sort of basics to sort of bring some big steps in sort of improvement. So yeah, really important.
And I think that's the thing for the Sports Turf Academy. We do this across Leicestershire. There's lots of clubs similar to Solomon, but he was our first ever club that we work with. He's such a great advocate for the stuff he does in the community, all the work he does for the wider community. So on our behalf, I think it's really important that we give something back, like Jonathan said. So Johnny, thanks for talking to us.
No problem.
And yeah, let's look forward to how day 2 goes. So here we are on day 2 of Turf Force. Already had a few dramas this morning with the sand lorry, with the delivery on it getting stuck in the grass where we delivered it. But it's really interesting to see that all these things aren't straightforward. What we have got behind us is the contra-rake on the pitch, basically a massive rotavator turning that top surface over, followed by a contra-rake. But the other thing is that we're battling against the weather. Today we're forecast heavy rain, so the boys behind are working really hard to make sure that we get those levels right going into day 2.
We had so much rain over the course of the night last night, and that's meant that we can't do a great lot to the pitch today. It's really important just to stress that sometimes less is more. We talk about this a lot with the Sports Turf Academy and the clubs we use. It's really, really important that sometimes actually doing a little bit less to the pitch is going to get you better results. And the whole point of this project is to do it properly. So what we did do yesterday was take the opportunity to take some data points across the pitch where we're going to address the levels going through. That has changed a little bit. As I've said before, this pitch is probably one of the most uneven that we've ever worked with, and that's come to light even more so now. So the job has gone from what was already a big job into even bigger job, and we've really got to thank Hewitt Sports Turf for going that extra mile to make it absolutely perfect. Hopefully a little bit better tomorrow. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So we've decided to go one step further than we had originally planned, and now the pitch is going to be laser graded by Hewitt Sports Turf. As I said before, the pitch is so uneven. We thought we might be able to mitigate that with stone burying and contra raking. Turns out we need a bulldozer. So the bulldozers will move in and we'll try and get these levels addressed and get it as accurate as possible to make this pitch as good as it possibly can be.
And watching the industry change as you have done, as you say, I remember coming down and meeting you for the first time. The Rugby World Cup was coming at the King Power Stadium, how you were changing the pitch then. I've seen how much it's changed. What does that mean to you to see that difference that you have made? You know, you're a modest bloke, but you have made a huge, huge difference. Turf Academy is your baby. Things are changing and people are talking about it.
Yeah, it's become more and more sort of as a profession, and that's really the aim. You know, a lot of the time people inherit this industry, they sort of, because their granddad did it or they've worked down the bowls club, they like gardening, which is great. We still need those people, but it is becoming more and more professional. We're having more and more of a bearing on the outcome of games. You know, not necessarily big percentages, but often we can be the 1%, and I think it's been viewed in that light, and that's what's making me probably the most proud, and that's what all this exposure and the whole point of the Turf Academy is, to make sure that people view it as a profession that they can get involved in. Just talk me through, Solomon, on a day-to-day basis, what do you do here for the club and on the pitches?
I do everything that is required, but I usually spend about 40 hours a week down here maintaining the pitch, and whatever is need doing, I do. You know what I mean? And I'm not the only one who does that. There's quite a few of us down here that do the same thing that we do. A lot of us is retired at the moment, so what we do is spend our time down here to try and do something for the community, or pass on what we know to the kids, right, and try and help the kids in them out to try and keep them off the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what my aim is, to try and keep them off the street. Everybody's got their own different values, but mine is that to keep the young black youths in them off of the street.
Yeah, and I really like that, and again, that was something that resonated with me when I first met you and all the rest of it, and I think it's really important just to sort of outline to us what impact this football club has on the community, other than just obviously what we see here behind us and the kids playing football.
Oh, it's vast. It's more than football, you know what I mean? There's community and for the elderlies. There is we have funerals, anything that the community require, we try and give it to them. And that is what, it's not just about football, it's about everything else that you can think of.
Yeah. And Solomon's took us through the clubhouse, and there are some special people on that photo wall, right? Just talk us through a few of the famous faces that have graced the pictures here.
Well, you got Dean Dublin, right? You know, you got Emil Leski's father, uncle, all his family, bar Emil, play down here, right? You know what I mean? And you got Amu, Daz Amu's son, who plays down here, professional. Winston White. They're all in there on the clubhouse wall.
Yeah, and it's really amazing to see, and it's amazing the history behind the club that I only started to realise once we started to work with Solomon and the guys here. So, on the pitches then, so what's going on your main match pitch here? What does that mean to you, to the club? I know that you're excited because we've had lots of conversations about it, but what does it mean? What will it mean for the club?
I'm going to tell you the truth, John. When you rang me and told me what you wanted to do, I just said yes. But I didn't sleep last night at all because I was so excited about coming down here this morning, right, and actually seeing something like this happening to us. Because we don't get things like that, you know, we don't. And what you have done to us it's brilliant, actually. It's absolutely brilliant. Because in my lifetime, I don't think I would ever seen this.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me that in 1970 that Leicester City will be down here doing what they're doing to us. I would have never believed them. Yeah. And I really appreciate what you, right, and Leicester have done for us.
Yeah. Oh, and listen, the thing is, for us, it's about, You know, it's about making sure that we put something back into the community as well. And you guys been such a pillar of what you do here. It's important for us to give you something back. So, you know, we're really grateful for the opportunity to do it. We hope that more clubs will be involved with their local teams and maybe do something similar in the future.
So Turf Force, I love this. We're looking at the pitch at the minute. It's the one that everybody knows, near Troon Industrial Estate. You come over Red Ear Circle, you see it on the right hand side. I mean, what's going to happen then, John? At the minute, it's all kind of been ploughed up. You know, that's kind of like, you know, the broadcaster me saying this. What's going to happen on that pitch?
Yeah, so but this was probably one of the most unlevel pitches I've ever seen. It was like wibbly wobbly way. There's holes and pockets all over the shop. So what we're going to do, pretty much, we've taken the top off. We've turned it over, and then on Monday, rain stopped play a little bit the other day. We had an absolute deluge, didn't we? So the bulldozers move in on Monday next week, and they're going to start levelling out the pitch. So they're going to go from having the bumpiest pitch in Leicester probably to almost something that's relatively flat. It's all within reason because we're working within, obviously, people giving it their time for free and all the rest of it. But you know, it's going to be so much better for them to play football on, so much better for the guys to develop on, and the club are going to benefit massively from it.
What does this mean to you? Because I can see your face. You know, no, radio doesn't, you know, do well with kind of like seeing how people light up and the passion behind it. What does this mean to you?
I mean, it means such a lot because, you know, we do such a lot of work in the community anyway, and also with a club like this, they do so much for the community. There are absolute diamonds here, like Solomon, who's the groundsman, looks after all the pitches, but volunteers his time. They have events here that help the sort of disadvantaged kids, and it's just so much going on here, and it's such an important part of the local community. I think it's only right that one, as a club, two, as a sports turf academy, three, as sponsors and all the rest of it, and as an industry, we give something back. And I think that's the thing that really gives me the most satisfaction. It's like a warm fuzzy feeling, you know.
We said then about the Turf Academy as well, 130 pitches down here at Highfield Rangers as well. Everybody clubbing together. Again, that's really special that people are really making a difference in the county.
Yeah, it is, and I think we've got an obligation to do that. I think, you know, a lot of the talent could come out of grassroots clubs, so it's important for us to help improve the pitches. It's often the thing, you talk about facilities being improved, the clubhouse, the changing rooms. Often people forget about the pitch, but the Football Foundation give a lot of funding to improve pitches across the country, and Leicestershire is no different, and we've sort of capitalised that market. We've pushed on, we've made programmes with people, and yeah, we're really proud of how many pitches we've improved, because like I said, the next generation of talent that could potentially play for Leicester or other clubs is coming through from these grassroots clubs. So we're back at Highfield Rangers, and as you can see behind me, the pitch has suffered quite significantly from the heat and drought that we experience. Now, up and down the country, most clubs have experienced the same issues, and it's no different here. But what we're now planning to do, thanks to Barrenbrook supplying us with even more seed than they did in the first place, and really getting behind the project at Turf Force, is we're overseeding the pitch today in and around 20 grams per square metre. We're giving that then about 3 or 4 weeks of ideal growing conditions with cooler temperatures, some rain forecast, and then hopefully within 4 weeks we'll be playing our first game here. I would like to say a massive thank you to Barrenbrook for their support on this. They didn't have to send us the extra resource, but obviously they're invested in the Turf Force project just as we are, and we really appreciate what they've done.
Hello, I'm Ben Sadler, Technical Services Manager for Leicester City Sports Turf Academy. I'm up here at Highfield Rangers just over a week to go before the first game and the handover of the pitch. Today I'm going to be applying the granular fertiliser, kindly donated by Agrigem. The fertiliser will strengthen the grass plant, which will then encourage dense growth, aid root development and help maintain a healthy appearance. To ensure an even spread of fertiliser across the pitch, my first job is to put these markers out, which I can then follow.
So we're finally at the end of the Turf Force project, and we're really grateful to Big Wes Morgan, former Leicester City captain, Premier League champion, to finally declare the pitch officially open. So Wes, take it away. Yeah. Hey Wes. There we go. So So we're now joined by Jerry, who is the chairman of this fantastic football club, and I want to talk to you today, Jerry, really one about what the work that's going on, but two, just about what impact this club has on the local community and what impact it's had on you as you've been involved.
Sure, yeah. In terms of Highfield Rangers as a community, I would say community organisation, it's had a major impact on sort of the local community and beyond. As you heard earlier, the club was set up in 1970, and throughout that period we had a number of teams very, very successful, you know, right through from the 70s, 80s, right through to the 90s. We actually got known as far as London and beyond because we played in a competition called the Caribbean Times, and got well known there. And so there was one aspect which was the football, but we also had the aspect which was the community aspect where we put on things like the Community Fun Day. We had things where we might say support maybe parents and guardians to come down to the club and give them a reduced rating thing. So again, it's Highfield Rangers not just as the football club but as a major organisation for the community and beyond.
So we finally got a chance to play on the pitch today, and it was a great opening ceremony for the guys. So many people from Highfield Rangers turned up, and again it's another opportunity for me to say thank you to those guys for allowing us to get the hands on their pitch and giving us the freedom and trust to look after it for them. This is such a special club that does so much in its community. It's full of so many good people. We did it because we wanted to do it, not because we had to do it. And I really hope that today is the start of lots of additional use for this facility. It gives lots of young people the chance to play a lot more football at this great football club. And we really hope that it's made a fantastic difference to them. So thank you to everyone involved with Highfield Rangers. A special thank you to Solomon, who's a groundsman here, who is just the heart and soul of this football club. So another special thank you, and I know he's modest, that goes to Martin Smart of Turf Business. He really has pulled this all together. He's engaged the sponsors, he's got everyone behind the project, and although it's been me in front of the camera this time, I want to say a huge thank you to him. He's relentless in his pursuit of making things better for people in the industry and trying to force change, and I really hope that this shows our appreciation of what he's done for Highfield Rangers. So here we are back at Highfield Rangers at the end of a really successful season for them on and off the pitch. The feedback from the club that we've had has been absolutely fantastic. We spoke to Solomon today and he's told us all the great comments he's had and how the new pitch has allowed them to play a style of football that they've never been able to play before. So a real success all in all, both for the club and for Turf Force. We hope that we can replicate the project again. We want to say thank you to all of the sponsors that have been involved in all their effort and time. The impact that this will have, not just for the club but on the community, has been immense, and it will be for years to come. We can see, despite the limited budget that these guys have and the lack of resource in terms of water, just how good the pitch has become. It really has helped them play a style of football that has allowed them to stabilise a mid-table finish, which doesn't sound great, but for these guys has been a real success. We're really happy with finally how relatively level we've managed to get this pitch considering the way it started. Overall, really happy with how the project has gone, really happy with how the sponsors have come on board and helped us get this over the line, and we hope for years to come this will be something special for Highfield Rangers. Finally, I just want to say what a great experience it's been for us. It's great to give something back to such an amazing club and a club that put so much faith in Sports Turf Academy in its early days. I really appreciate everything that's gone into making it a success, and hopefully we can do it again soon.